What the hell did I just watch? A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child, stars Lisa Wilcox, Robert Englund, and is directed by Stephen Hopkins. So A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child opens up with a sex scene. And we find out later in this movie that there's a reason for this scene. But right away it opens with Alice from the last movie, and she has sex with Dan, and then she enters this dream. And in the dream, she witnesses the inception of Freddy. She actually sees through Amanda Kruger's eyes what had happened. And I actually like this opening because it shows, who the bastard son of 100 maniacs is, how he was born. And right away you're wondering why are they showing this now, part 5 in this series? But then you find out, shortly after, that the reason for this is because Alice is pregnant. And we find out early in the movie that infants, when they are in the womb, they do dream. And her child, Jacob, is having these dreams. And as we all know from the last movie, Alice has this power to enter dreams. And so she enters her son's dreams. So really, Freddy is brought back through the unborn son of Alice. Now, I have watched this movie before, but I don't remember it at all. At least I don't remember what I just witnessed, because I just watched this movie literally right before I did this review. And I think the last time I watched it, I was deployed somewhere and I had my laptop and my headphones, and I just wasn't fully immersed in this movie. This time around, I actually put it on my nice sound system, and I had the great audio, the great video, the Blu-ray, and I enjoyed it much more this time. And like I said, there's a lot about this movie that I didn't remember. And I don't think I finished it the last time I watched it, to be honest. And let me just say, I was pleasantly surprised with The Dream Child, which I did not expect. Let me tell you why. And I'm gonna make this review a little different. I'm gonna start off with the cons. We're gonna go ahead and get those out of the way. Right away, you're gonna notice in this movie, the acting is atrocious. I mean, it is just horrible. I mean, we have a new level of bad acting.
I love Greta a lot. And if maybe, just maybe, someone or something killed her, I'd like to hear about it.
I'm not gonna listen to this anymore.
Then get out!
We have both feet firmly planted in B-movie horror territory. Congratulations, everybody. Welcome. And that's not always a bad thing, because this feels like almost like a student film. It feels like the bad acting is a part of the recipe. It all kind of fits. And I didn't get that right away. Like at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, this is just going to be painful. I'm going to have to sit through this for an hour and a half. But then all of a sudden, the dream sequences happen. And the direction happens, and then I understood where this movie was going. And really, the acting is the biggest con of this movie. The acting is, like I said, just completely horrible. But in my mind, it's so bad it's good. Like if you watch this movie with 5 other people, you are just gonna be in stitches. Okay, now let me tell you what I liked about The Dream Master. Damn it, it's unique. It is one of the most unique movies. There is definitely an Evil Dead influence in this movie. It feels like Stephen Hopkins took a little bit of the playbook of Sam Raimi. And there are a few scenes that feel like they're taken right out of Evil Dead. The camera is frantic and it's moving forward, and you feel like you just have to hang on. And for that, I gotta give Stephen Hopkins credit. Usually in my reviews, I don't mention directors unless there is something really unique. And sometimes in a movie, the directing just shines right through. And most of the time, the directing just feels like it's not really trying to show off. It's trying to tell the story. But every now and then, the director bleeds through the story. And that's what happens in this movie. Stephen Hopkins, his directing is really, really good in this movie, because the story is really just kind of ludicrous and stupid, really. So when you have a story that's just so out there like this, you have to have direction that is also out there, is also batshit crazy. Throughout most of this movie, I felt like I was sitting in a roller coaster seat, trying to hold on, because at any moment I felt like I could just fall off the rails. The next thing I really like about this movie, and it involves the direction, is the dream sequences. the practical effects that went into these sequences is just really outstanding. The first one is the motorcycle death with Dan, and that is just a crazy, crazy scene. And I was just in awe, like I said, of the practical effects that went into that scene. That's one thing I really love about, 70s and 80s movies. They were forced to be creative. They didn't have all this CGI because, in a computer, not to knock CGI or anything, but in a computer, you have carte blanche. You can make anything as long as your mind can dream it up. Can you do that in practical effects? Yes, but it's a lot harder to get there. And I applaud the practical effects in this movie, and not just the bike scene, also the comic book scene with the character Mark, who might be the worst actor of the whole bunch.
Time to die, you scar-faced limp dick.
And that's a compliment. I just love the style of that. It almost had kind of a film noir style to it. It's black and white. So what happens when you mix film noir with something out of a Sam Raimi movie, and those two worlds collide and you don't think they really mix, but it just works. And also the third act of this movie is just really cool. Again, the practical effects just shine right through. But I didn't realize that the character Alice, she survives through this whole movie, much like in the last movie. And that is a rarity in a horror franchise, especially a horror slasher franchise. But there's one scene at the end where Alice and Freddy, they kind of become one, and that scene almost feels like something out of The Thing. And finally, let's talk about Freddy. I'm in the middle with Freddy on this one because, like I said in the last review, his one-liners are crazy, but Freddy is on acid in this movie. They even do his makeup differently. His makeup kind of feels like a hybrid of the early Freddy and the Freddy in New Nightmare. But this is Freddy on steroids. But for some reason in this movie, it kind of works because of how out there the direction is. And also, I have to give a shout out to one of my Twitter followers, Darnell Major. He wanted me to make mention of the cinematography in this movie. And yes, Darnell, you are right. The cinematography in this movie is great, especially in the dream sequences. Loved it. So guys, like I said, I don't know what the hell I just watched, but I liked it. And I think I'm going to give this a purchase worthy. We have broke new ground in the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews, guys. Give yourselves a hand. We did it. I think I actually like this movie better than The Dream Master. Crazy. Now I'm scared shitless to watch Freddy's Dead, because what happens if I like that movie? Do I just cancel the reviews? I guess we'll find out. So anyway, guys, that is my review for The Dream Child. Wow, crazy. So guys, let me know what you think of the Nightmare review so far. I'm really having a blast with this. And also, I've been getting a lot of requests for different reviews. So I just started a Letterboxd account. If you are on Letterboxd and you search for Drum Dums, I'm there and you can follow me. But I've actually made a playlist of requested reviews. What you see on the screen right now is my requested reviews so far. So if you have a request, let me know down below and I will throw it in the playlist. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and Letterboxd, and Drum Dum out.